In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you? Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Brown Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Game 2 of 2 coming up here. SPU taking on Cal State San Marcos. Cal State San Marcos made a run to the Final Four of the Division II NCAA tournament last year. And this year, though, off to an 0-2 start. Both of these teams with new coaches this year. Cal State San Marcos coached by Jana Pearson in her first year, and Seattle Pacific coached by Karen Byers, who took over for Mike Simonson fairly late in the summer. Mike Simonson took a position at Biola, the head coaching position there, and the former coach of the Cougars, Renee Jimenez, took the job at UC Santa Barbara. And so both of these teams with new coaches this year. Falcons off to an 0-5 start. The Cougars 0-2. And the Cougars have lost, really both of these teams have lost all their games by double digits. Falcons, though, have had 5 of them. And the Cougars with the more recent run of success, trying to get in the win column here tonight. Falcons, though, their first game at home, and they want to pick it up and play better than they have been so far as well. Cougars will go with a lineup featuring Rory Hetrick, a senior from San Diego, California, Kate Bobadilla, a junior from 29 Palms, California, Casey Slover, a junior from Nipomo, California, transfer from Cal Poly Humboldt, Destiny Okonkwo, out of a graduate student out of Rancho Cucamonga. She's a transfer from Westmont. A lot of these Cougars are transfers from other places. Rose Morse, a senior from Walnut Creek, California, and she is a transfer from UC Riverside. Hetrick transferred from Simpson College, and Bobadilla transferred from Point Loma. So all five in the lineup for the Cougars are transfers. Camille Johnson averaged 15 points per game in the first two, and does not look like she's active tonight. I was thinking that she would be coming off the bench, but she is not. She's wearing pants, so she's not going to be out there tonight. She's here. But the Falcons, though, as I mentioned, 0-5. They are going to go with Haley Ota, a sophomore out of Honolulu, Hawaii. We called her Haley Ann last year. We're just calling her Haley this year. Hunter Buren, a fifth-year player out of Mukilteo, Washington. Lainey Kearns, a sophomore from Hamilton, Montana, as the Cougars win the tip. Madison Rubino in the starting lineup, a junior out of Snohomish, Washington. And Skylar Berry, a senior from Portland, Oregon. As the Cougars control, they have the first possession here. And the number is going to be a little difficult to read with the black on blue, but that was Hetrick putting up the first shot, and the Falcons back the other way. Kearns gets it into Rubino, and she goes off the glass for two. Kearns with the assist. Rubino, the first bucket of the game for SPU. 2-0 Falcons. And here is San Marcos the other way, as it's Bobadilla at the controls for the Cougars. Both of these games featuring a team called the Cougars. Rubino almost had that one, and the Cougars get it back. Morse is fouled by Ota. First foul of the game on either side. And Rose Morse will inbound it from in front of the Falcons bench, or right next to it, I should say. Bobadilla with the long, full-length sleeve on her right leg. And now back to Morse. Here's a three on the way, and that one misses everything. And that was Hetrick again taking the shot. Hetrick out of San Diego. San Marcos, located a little north of San Diego, a little kind of in between LA and San Diego, but closer to San Diego than it is to LA. Here's Rubino, and she puts that one in off the glass. And quickly, 4 points for the newcomer from Snohomish, as she's been to a couple. She's played at a couple of different places. Most recently, Cal Poly Humboldt, where I believe she was teammates with Casey Slover. Here is Hunter Buren coming down the floor and putting in the bucket. And the Falcons lead at 6-0. Falcons have, as I mentioned, they have not even lost a game by single digits yet this year, as Hetrick is fouled by Kearns. Both teams have lost by double digits every time they have taken the floor, but the Cougars have just played twice. Their last loss was by 10 to Azusa Pacific, who we saw earlier here against Western Washington, and Azusa Pacific beat Western Washington by 11. We get a whistle and a 5-second call. And the Falcons will take it back. And SPU coming out playing well here in the first few minutes, as they have a 6-0 lead, and they force a turnover there as San Marcos took too long to get it in bounds. Kearns to Buren. Swings it over to Ota. She's going to take a three, and that one is off the rim. No good. Rebound, though. Rubino was trying to get to it. Hetrick gets in there and ties it up. And Rory Hetrick with the hustle play there. Scooping up the loose ball. But Rubino was able to tie her up. Falcons with the possession arrow. Keep it. Here's Skylar Berry going up over Okonkwo, and that one goes in with the left hand. Nice looking post move from Berry as she went to her left and had the little baby hook shot. Bobadilla has it poked away out of bounds. And the Falcons with some pressure in the backcourt. We saw Azusa Pacific frustrating Western Washington a bit. Western Washington adjusted to it, but in the first quarter in particular, they committed a few turnovers. As here's Hetrick being guarded by Buren and loses it, gets it back with 4 on the shot clock. Hetrick driving. Hetrick going to put up the shot, and she puts it in off the glass with the left hand and beats the shot clock buzzer. It was down to 1. Falcons lead 8-2. Here's Berry finding Kearns. Kearns will swing it over to the other side. Here's Rubino. Berry to Kearns, and now Ota driving. And Ota throws it away to Hetrick. He's trying to get it to Rubino, and Rubino was not on the same page. But it'll be Cougars basketball as the Falcons poke it out of bounds. 8-2 is your score. Mention each team with a first-year head coach. Jana Pearson for San Marcos, and Karen Byers, who was on Mike Simons' staff as an assistant and took over. Here's a 3 on the way from Morrison. She leaves that one short. Getting in there for the rebound was Slover, and the Falcons poke it out, so it'll stay with the Cougars. And Bobadilla will inbound. She'll get it to Slover. Bobadilla thought about a 3, steps inside the arc instead, and is a little long on the floater there. We'll see here. They didn't call a foul, but they do give SPU the ball. Looked like Kearns was just dribbling on the sideline and got pushed out. But Bobadilla didn't touch the ball, so they give the Falcons the ball there, though. Here's Kearns again, kicks it out for Buren for a 3, and Hunter Buren knocks it down. And the Falcons lead it 11-2. 9-point lead for SPU here in the first quarter. Rose Morse the other way. We'll get it to Bobadilla. First few minutes of this one, the Falcons have come out pretty sharp, and the Cougars have not. And there's a turnover as Buren steals another one and takes it to the bucket and lays it up and in. And the Falcons lead it by 11, 13-2. Best start the Falcons could have imagined here. Coming off an 0-5 start as Bobadilla gets it in the post and gets it right back. Here's Morse now, kicking it across for Hetrick from the right corner, and that one goes down. And Rory Hetrick now with 5 points for the Cougars. 13-5 your score. We're inside of 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Kearns to Buren. And Buren slips it down to Rubino. She kicks it out. Ota, now Kearns will drive. And Kearns has to kick it back out. Ota with 8 on the shot clock. Berry at the free throw line. Kicks it to Kearns in the corner. And that one misses everything. Goes over the rim. Falcons were able to work it around the perimeter on that possession, but not able to put one in the bucket. As we get a foul here, this will take us to our first quarter media timeout. as let's see here. They called a foul on Bobadilla. 13-5 your score. 4:11 to go first quarter. We'll be right back in just a moment on the SPU webcast.
Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
13-5 SPU with the lead over Cal State San Marcos, as Falcons will bring in Lola Weatherspoon and Grace Leisure to pair with Beeren and Kearns and Skylar Berry, still the three on the floor from the starting lineup. This one lost out of bounds, and the Cougars will take it back. Cougars now have Caitlin Beal in the game, and the other players are still starters as the Falcons come away with another turnover, and Kearns misses the lay-in. And now the Cougars back the other way with it. Morse will hold it. And now it comes out to Beal on the right wing. Hetrick driving from the left corner. And they're going to get a foul on Lainey Kearns. Both teams, Bobadilla coming back in, and now for the Falcons, Kearns comes out and Grace Turley comes on. Grace Turley redshirted here last year. She's a redshirt freshman, and she's out of Sammamish, Washington. Went to Mount Si High School. So we get our first look at Grace Turley on the home floor. She's been in some games on the road. Falcons played their first three in Canada. And then we're down in California last week as Hetrick gets another one off the glass. And Hetrick has all the points for the Cougars so far. She's got 7. Here's Turley getting it in the corner. And the three goes up from Leisure. Beeren came down with the rebound and was looking for a foul and didn't get it. And Beeren could not connect on the putback opportunity. It's 13-7 as Hetrick will peel back out toward the corner and now throw it away to Leisure. Grace Leisure had that one deflected. Gets it to Turley, though. Turley going to pull up and take a 3 off the back iron. No good. Rebound to Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon back to Turley. Okonkwo rips it away, and it's a held ball. This will go back to the Cougars. But Weatherspoon, a good steal there. As Okonkwo will come off. And this is Caitlin Beal. I'm sorry. It's Tatum Tomashiro out there. She had subbed in previously, and I misidentified her. We get an official's timeout here. Or is it maybe not an official's timeout? It's a timeout either way. It's a 30-second timeout. With 2:32 to go here in the first quarter. So Tatum Tomashiro was out on the floor, and then Caitlin Beal came out as well for the Cougars. Tomashiro, a redshirt sophomore out of Torrance, California, and Beal, a sophomore out of Anthem, Arizona. Falcons back out, and so are the Cougars. Tamashiro will get it to Bobadilla. And now Tamashiro with it. Hands off to Bobadilla. And Bobadilla puts it up and in and draws the foul. And that one's going to go against Leisure for the Falcons, as Amelia Bishop will check in for SPU. She'll come get Skylar Berry. But Kate Bobadilla with a bucket and will shoot a free throw here, trying to complete a three-point play, and does. And she gets the Cougars back within a possession at 13-10. 8-0 run for San Marcos. And we get a traveling call whistled on Hunter Buren. And the Cougars will take it back. Rubino back out there, and Ota as well for SPU. Pass comes in to Tamashiro. 2 minutes to play first quarter. Tamashiro driving, and Leisure gets the block this time and does not commit a foul in the process. This one going to go out of bounds, and they're going to get a foul on Tatum Tamashiro. With 1:54 to play here in the first quarter, Weatherspoon will inbound. Lola Weatherspoon out of Camas, Washington. She went to Union in Vancouver, where she was a teammate of Mason Oberg of Western Washington. As this one off the mark by Bishop, and the attempt there by Rubino to save it, and she stepped on the line out of bounds. So the Cougars will take it back. Bobadilla out of backcourt being guarded by Leisure, and she will get into the front court. Tamashiro will hand it off. Here's Bobadilla again. Shot goes up and the rebound pulled down by Rubino, but Bobadilla gets it back and puts it up and in. And the Cougars are within 13-12. They're on a 10-0 run after the Falcons got off to a 13-2 start. Here's Leisure. Now Rubino with it. And Rubino stepping through traffic and draws the foul. With just under a minute to play here in the first quarter. 2 shots coming up. Foul going on Casey Slover. And Rubino at the free throw line misses the first one. Rubino connects on the second one. She is averaging just over 3 points per game and was just 38%, 3 of 8 at the free throw line prior to that trip, and goes 1 of 2 there. Bobadilla almost threw it away. Hetrick is able to chase it down. Falcons lead by 2, 14-12. Here's Hetrick driving to her left, trying to go around Rubino. Ends up with the putting up the turnaround jumper, and it rims out. And the Falcons with possession going back the other way. Falcons with just about a second differential between the game and shot clock. And we'll see if they are going to try to hold here and run the clock down. But Weatherspoon will get fouled with 14.1 left. Each team now with 4 team fouls, as that foul committed by Caitlin Beal. 14 seconds, 14.1, and the Falcons can hold here for the final shot as they turn the shot clock off. Here's Ota getting it to Leisure, and she puts that one up too strong. Gets to her own rebound. Couldn't get that one to go either. And so Leisure gets the offensive rebound, but misses twice there on the offensive end. Falcons lead it, though, after one quarter of play, 14-12. Good start for the Falcons. They were up 13-2 and hold a 2-point lead at the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons lead at 14-12 over the Cougars as we enter the second quarter. The Falcons shot 38% from the floor in the first quarter, and the Cougars shot 42%. Each team hit a three. Falcons were 1 of 6. The Cougars were 1 of 4. Each team hit a free throw as well. But the Falcons with a big edge in rebounding at 11-5. And that's kind of how these Falcons teams have been built, is they defend and they rebound. Rubino, do they call her a travel, or I believe that's what they called there, as the Cougars will take it over as the Falcons turn it over. Speaking of turnovers, each team with 6 in the first quarter. And there's another one as Bobadilla loses it to Kearns. Kearns gets it ahead to Buren, and she lays it up and in. This one thrown out of bounds, and another turnover. Falcons will take it back again, leading 16-12. And we'll get an early timeout here called by Jana Pearson for the Cougars. 16-12 your score, and we will step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be right back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons a little home cooking here, leading by 4 early in the second quarter. And Cal State San Marcos trying to get something going. They did close the gap from 13-2 down to 13-12. Here's Rubino on the assist by Skylar Berry. And Rubino with 6 points here in the ball game. Make it 7 as she had a free throw. 2 made field goals in the early minutes. And that one off the glass by Rose Morse is good. and that'll make it an 18-14 score. Here's Lainey Kearns the other way. And she puts that one in off the glass with the turnaround. Kearns with the floater. And it's a 6-point game for the Falcons. Morse into the front court. And the baseline jumper there by Beal. Falcons end up with it. As Rubino will get it to Kearns, and the Falcons with another possession here, up by 6. Kearns over into the corner, and Weatherspoon can't connect on the three. Rubino there for the offensive rebound. Can't get the putback to go, and I think Rubino lost it off her foot out of bounds there. Destiny Okonkwo will come in for Cal State San Marcos, and Grace Leisure back in for SPU. Here's Morse across midcourt. Gets it in the post for Okonkwo. Right back to Morse. I think Leisure came over and affected that shot. Did not draw iron. Cougars still with the ball. Here's a jumper from the baseline by Slover. And she puts it in from about 12 feet out. Back the other way come the Falcons with a 4-point lead. And this one poked away. Last touch by Barry. It's going to be Cougars basketball. Okonkwo poked that one away, and it was last touch by Skylar Barry. 7:25 to go, second quarter, and the Cougars down 4. Here's Morse. We'll get it to Bobadilla. And now a turnaround by Slover, and she puts that one in. Back-to-back buckets by Casey Slover. And she's got now 6 points in the ball game. Buren knocked down in the backcourt. Foul going to go on Kate Bobadilla. That's her second. And she'll check out now as Luca Lowenberg will check in. Lowenberg in for the first time tonight. Ota finds Rubino going to the bucket, and Madison Rubino has 9 points here in the first half and is really looking pretty solid out there for the Falcons. This one knocked out of bounds by Rubino, and it'll stay with the Cougars. They actually got Rubino for a foul on that. So that's her first foul. 22-18. Falcons by 4. Rose Morse will get it to Slover. She gets the bucket and puts it high off the window and in. Kind of went up and under. And Slover now with 8 points for the Cougars. 22-20, Falcons with the lead. Here is Barry. And she's going to pull up from the free throw line and miss off the back iron. Ball comes out of bounds. And it's going to stay with the Falcons. He'll inbound from the corner. Hunter Buren will get it in. And gets it into Skylar Barry, who has it poked away, but is able to maintain control of it. Gets to the bucket and misses the shot. As Barry had a good path to the bucket there. A little too strong. Buren knocks it away from Morse. Last touch by Buren. It'll be the Cougars with possession. Kearns comes in for Madison Rubino, who has looked very good in her Falcons home debut. As Morse will inbound, and Tamashiro comes up with it and puts it in off the glass, and we're tied at 22. Here come the Falcons back the other way, trying to retake the lead. Kearns And she tried to get it to Leisure. It's knocked away by Tomashiro. As she comes back the other way, shoots over Leisure and leaves it short. Leisure with the long arms has really affected several shots here. And now back on the other end, she beats everybody down the floor and catches the pass and lays it up and in. And the Falcons lead it by 2. Leisure with her first couple of points in this game. Grace Leisure, a sophomore out of Portland, Oregon. Here's Rose Morse driving, and she lost it out of bounds. Was looking to see if the Falcons knocked it out, but it is off of Morse. She just lost it. Amelia Bishop will check in for Skylar Berry. And the Falcons with possession up 2. Here's Kearns. She'll pull it back out. Get it to Hunter Beeren. As Leisure gets it down to Bishop in the post. And Bishop draws the foul. This is going to go on Okonkwo. As Tomashiro will come to the bench and Rory Hetrick back in. Falcons with possession. And Kearns will try to get it over the top, and Leisure is knocked down by Okonkwo. And they're gonna get a foul on Okonkwo. It's 11 at first, so it was 21. So Okonkwo commits her second foul. Weatherspoon will check in for Leisure, or the Falcons. And the ball comes into Bishop. Here's Beeren now. Looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it out to Ota. Ota in the post for Bishop, and that one a little too strong. And Slover able to control the rebound for the Cougars. They trail by 2. And we get a whistle. And I think they got Slover. No. It wasn't Slover. That was on Rose Morse. She commits her first foul. But it was an offensive foul and gives the ball back to the Falcons. Fairly low-scoring game compared to the first one we saw earlier. As Lola Weatherspoon gets to the bucket. Beeren with the assist. Weatherspoon with her first 2 points of the game. And it's a 4-point lead for SPU. Here's Morse getting it to Hetrick, who drives, turns around, puts up the shot off the rim, off the iron, no good. Falcons with the rebound. 4-point lead as Beeren just threw that one a little too far in front of Weatherspoon, and it's off her fingertips out of bounds. 3:28 to go, second quarter. And the Cougars will inbound. Neither team has played a real clean game. A lot of turnovers. But each team has hit some good-looking shots. This one off the mark. Tapped out of bounds as that was Luca Lowenberg putting up the 3. And the Cougars will keep it as Falcons touched it last. Okonkwo loses it to Weatherspoon. And the Falcons back the other way. We'll check the turnovers here. Both teams have committed several. Here's Ota. Ota going around Okonkwo, puts up the floater, puts it in. And Ota gives the Falcons a 6-point lead. 28-22. Lowenberg will get it to Morse, and Slover is tripped up. Or did she walk with it? She did. Slover walked with the basketball before she was knocked to the floor. And the Falcons will take it. Grace Turley coming back in. Lainey Kearns as well. will check in. Beeren to the bench. Weatherspoon for Ota, and now Kearns with it. Kearns over the top for Bishop. Goes over Okonkwo, and that one goes down for Amelia Bishop. Falcons lead it by 8. They are on an 8-0 run. We were tied at 22. And the Falcons have opened up the lead again, as they did in the first quarter. Morse going to the bucket, gets tripped up. Foul called on Grace Turley. Her first. Tomashiro will come back on for Slover. And Beeren going to get right back on the floor after a very short break. And she'll check in for Ota. 30-22, Cougars with possession. 2:05 to go second quarter. And it comes into Tomashiro. She will get it out to Hetrick. Grace Turley defending Hetrick. Here's Morris cutting into the lane. Puts it up. Too strong. Bishop had the rebound. And it's loose. Tracked down by Weatherspoon. And she will get it to Beeren. And we get a whistle here. And I believe it was Karen Byers that got the timeout from the bench. As the Falcons get a timeout, the ball was kind of all over the place. Somebody was trying to track it down. Weatherspoon did get to it, and she got it ahead to Beeren, but Falcons had already called timeout at that point. They lead by 8, 30-22. Let's take a look here at the updated stats. Falcons shooting 48%, and the Cougars at 44%. But I mentioned we were going to take a look at the turnovers. Cougars have committed 12 turnovers here in the first half. Falcons have committed 9. And so, yeah, neither team playing a real clean game. Falcons have out-rebounded the Cougars by 7, 17-10. Falcons have double the amount of points off turnovers, 14-7. And you got to think maybe the Cougars are missing Camille Johnson, who has been big for them in their first 2 games. Caitlin Beal coming back on and checking in for Okonkwo. Cougars just have 3 returning players from the team that went to the Final Four last year. A lot of transfers. And trying to put it together. Here is Kern stepping back and misses on the 3. But Turley chases down the rebound and tried to get it back to Kearns. Kearns was already cutting toward the bucket and can't hang on to it. Here's Hetrick stepping through a couple of defenders, puts it in. Hetrick has 9 points in the game now, had 7 early on. And now getting late here in the second quarter with a minute to play. Weatherspoon will get it to Bishop. Here's Turley on a 3, and that one rims out. And it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Falcons. 52.6 left. Ball comes into Kearns. And now Beeren with it. Gets it to Bishop, and Bishop's going to draw another foul here. Falcons making good use of Amelia Bishop in the post as Caitlin Beal picks up the foul. And Amelia Bishop will head to the free throw line. Falcons in the bonus with 44.7 left here in the second quarter, and Amelia Bishop cashes in the first opportunity from the free throw line. Bishop is a perfect 6 for 6 at the free throw line coming into this game and make it 8 for 8. 32-24. Falcons lead it by 8. I have not seen the Falcons play yet this year, but they have had a hard time scoring. So far here, though, in this first half, they've really played well. Cougars trail by 8. Here's Tamashiro getting it out to Morse. Morse handing it back to Beal, and Beal is going to draw the foul as the shot clock was down to 4. Madison Rubino will check back in, and she will get Lainey Kearns. 18.6 left on the clock. Shot clock is off. And Caitlin Beal at the free throw line. And she misses on the first one. Beal making her first trip to the free throw line this season. And gets the second one to go. That'll cut the lead down to 7. Falcons can have the last possession here if they are able to hold it. Turley will get it to Beeren. Beeren's going to give some instructions. She goes behind her back, gets it to Turley. A 3 on the way, and that one off the mark. Rebound. Hetrick ends up with it. Can't get a shot off before the buzzer. And the Falcons have been impressive here in the first half. They lead it by 7 at the break, 32-25. We will step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll take about a 10-minute break and come back with about 5 minutes left before the second half gets underway. Falcons lead it over the Cal State San Marcos Cougars, 32-25. We'll be right back.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Broome Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast as the Falcons out to a 7-point lead at halftime, 32-25. And they have looked to be the better team so far in this one. Cal State San Marcos with a half left of basketball to turn that around. But the Falcons came out, got out to an 8-0 lead, made it 13-2 at one point. And that was their largest lead. They had a lead of 11, but they let San Marcos tie it at 22, and then got back out to another 8-point lead at 30-22, and it's 32-25 now at the break. The Cougars shooting 46% from the floor. The Falcons 44%. Neither team has really done anything beyond the 3-point line. The Cougars 1 of 5, the Falcons 1 of 10 out there. Neither team has really shot a lot of free throws in this one. The Cougars 2 out of 3, the Falcons 3 out of 4. Falcons with a pretty good edge in rebounding at 19-11, and the Cougars have committed 12 turnovers. The Falcons have committed 10, so it really has not been a very cleanly played ball game. The Falcons have 9 assists, and the Cougars just 3. The Falcons have had a few good-looking offensive possessions. Points off turnovers, Falcons 14, Cougars 9. As individually, the Cougars were led by Rory Hetrick with 9 points. She was 4 out of 8 from the floor, overall 1 of 2 beyond the arc, and had a rebound, a block shot, and a steal. They get 6, the Cougars do, from Casey Slover on 3 of 3 shooting from the floor. All 3 2-point field goals. Obviously, she's got 6 points. 2 rebounds for her, and she turned the ball over 3 times. Rose Morse turned it over 5 times and just had 2 points. So looking for a turnaround in the second half, as she has played well for the Cougars to this point, averaging 13 points a game, and has only turned it over 3 times in the first 2 games, and she's turned it over 5 times here in the first half. So expect her to come out and have an improved second half for the Cougars. Falcons with 9 points from Hunter Buren and 9 points from Madison Rubino. Rubino collects 4 rebounds as well in that first half, and also came up with a steal. Buren with 9 points, a rebound, and 3 steals to go with an assist as well. And so those were kind of the two scorers for the Falcons in the first half. They get 4 off the bench from Amelia Bishop, and several other players had 2 points. It's been Lainey Kearns leading the Falcons in scoring, the only one averaging in double figures at 10.6 points per game. Everybody else, Buren is at 6.2, and everybody else below that. But Rubino has played really well here in the first half, as has Hunter Buren. The Cougars, with Camille Johnson, their leading scorer, not active for this game. She averages 15 points a game. She's already 17 out of 17 at the free throw line in 2 games. But Rose Morse averages 13, and Rory Hetrick averages 12.5 for the Cougars. Taking a quick look at scores around both the GNAC and the CCAA. GNAC with more teams in action than either the CCAA or the Pac West was the team. The conference that we saw Azusa Pacific from earlier. Anchorage was 4-0. They lose to Point Loma today by 2. Northwest Nazarene loses to Westmont College. And Western Washington loses to Azusa Pacific earlier here. Simon Fraser has a win. and everybody else coming up later or in action right now. Of course, this game, Central Washington and Vanguard down in Santa Barbara, probably about to go final. They just haven't posted the final yet. But Simon Fraser with a win over Colorado School of Mines, 84-75, and all the other scores have not yet been posted. Just 3 teams in action from the CCAA. One of them here, San Marcos. San Francisco State is at Fresno Pacific, and we may have a final from that one. No, not yet. Cal State Monterey Bay is at Dominican, as we are underway, or about to be, here in the third quarter with San Marcos getting the first possession, and Morse will get it into Bobadilla. San Marcos with the blue jerseys and the black numbers. They're not that difficult to read. We're not. If this was soccer, they would be hard to read, because soccer field is much bigger. Shot goes up by Bobadilla and she misses it. Slover comes down with the offensive rebound though, and Bobadilla is going to get another crack at it. That one rims around and falls off. Slover gets her, that was Hetrick that got her shot blocked by Skylar Berry, but gets it right back, and the Cougars keep possession. Hetrick on the left wing being guarded by Buren. 6 on the shot clock. Bobadilla steps into the lane, puts it in off the glass over Berry, and the Cougars had possession there for almost the full minute to start the third quarter, as they were able to get a couple of offensive boards and keep the possession going. Here's Lainey Kearns the other way, and she puts in a 3 from the left wing. And Kearns puts the Falcons in front by 8, 35-27. Going the other way, here's Hetrick, and she was going to go around Berry but thought better of it. Now Slover down on the baseline gets it back out to Hetrick for a 3, and that misses everything. Kearns will chase down the rebound, and the Falcons with possession and an 8-point lead here early in the third quarter. Buren to Rubino, a baseline jumper from 15 feet out is good, and Rubino's got 11. And now she commits the foul on Rose Morse. A little too aggressive there, trying to take it away. But Madison Rubino with now 2 fouls, but she's got 11 points in the game. And the Falcons with a 10-point lead, 37-27. Their largest was early at 13-2. It was an 11-point lead. Cougars trying to settle in and run the Falcons down here in the second half. Here's Bobadilla pulling up from inside the arc. Couldn't get the shot to go. Kearns picks up the rebound. Takes it the other way. Finds Buren, and Buren cashes in. Great assist there by Kearns as she waited until the last possible second to pass it to her teammate Buren. And Hunter Buren with 11. And the Falcons now with their largest lead of 12. 39-27. Here's Bobadilla. Calling out a play. Ota will come pick her up. Falcons playing a zone, and Ota picks off the pass. And so far, the Falcons have caused some turnovers. Buren comes the other way, knocks down a 3, and the Falcons lead it by 15 points, 42-27. It was a 7-point halftime lead. They have expanded it to 15 here early in the third quarter. And San Marcos digging themselves a hole. Here's Hetrick trying to drive around Kearns. Will get into the lane and step through between Kearns and Skylar Berry and missed the shot. Kearns trying to wrestle it away from Okonkwo. It's a held ball. And the Falcons will get it on the alternating possession. Lola Weatherspoon and Grace Leisure back in for SPU as Ota and Rubino check out. And the Falcons have done a lot well in this one. And it shows on the scoreboard, 42-27. Here's Leisure getting it to Skylar Berry. And now Weatherspoon lost it out of bounds. She thought maybe it had been poked out, but they say that Weatherspoon just lost it. So, as I mentioned, both teams have turned the ball over several times in this game. Not the cleanest game in the world, but Falcons have a lot so far that they can hang their hat on. And, of course, at the top of that list is a 15-point lead right now. Bobadilla gets it in the post to Okonkwo, and Skylar Berry fouls her with 6:03 left on the clock here in the third quarter. And a non-shooting foul. That's the first committed by Berry. Second team foul by the Falcons here in the third quarter. Here's a three on the way from Rose Morse off the back iron. Okonkwo comes over Berry and had it for a second, but it ends up loose on the floor. Kearns picked it up. Leisure out ahead of everybody, couldn't convert on the lay-in. And here come the Cougars back the other way. Kearns, another steal. And Kearns will take it back for SPU. Buren gets it to Weatherspoon. She gets it out to Kearns. Weatherspoon, I think, would have had an opportunity to put that one in the bucket. Falcons do not cash in on that possession. And the Cougars now with Kate Bobadilla calling out plays. Getting it to Okonkwo, has it poked away. Kearns forced that turnover again as Berry ends up with it. Here is Leisure with the assist to Hunter Buren. And Hunter Buren now with 16 points in the game, and the Falcons continue to expand the lead. They have a 17-point lead. Falcons are getting their hands in the passing lanes and causing turnovers. Here's Bobadilla. Out to Morse. Morse pulls up. And Kearns with the blocked shot. Are they going to get a foul? Let's see here. No. Oh, they did go to foul on Hunter Buren, yes. It does take us to the media timeout. With 4:40 to play, Buren picks up her first foul. And the Falcons have raced out to a 17-point lead here in the third quarter, 44-27. We'll be back in just a moment.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Rose Morse to the free throw line as we come out of the timeout. And Morse puts in the first free throw. The foul was on Buren, and just her first, as Morse, her second free throw up and good as well. And so Morse, her first trip to the free throw line tonight, cashes in both free throws. Falcons still with a 15-point lead as we get a whistle here in the back court. And let's see if it was a clock issue. I think so. They just are giving the Falcons the ball at the scorer's table. Buren to Weatherspoon. Back out to Beeren. She steps inside and gets it to Kearns for a corner three, and that one a little too strong. Grace Leisure, the offensive rebound, the putback, she draws the foul. Amelia Bishop is out there for the Falcons. And Tatum Tomashiro, out there for San Marcos. Grace Leisure to the free throw line, and she connects on the first one. Morse for the Cougars, perfect at the free throw line. She was 6 out of 6 coming into the game, and hit 2, but then Leisure goes down to the other end and hits 2, and the Falcons back out to a 17-point lead. Here is Slover in the front court, getting it back to Bobadilla. Cougars trying to dig their way out of a double-digit hole as Tomashiro misses on the 3, but Slover this is Tomashiro again. It was Maddie Leva out there with the offensive rebound, but the Cougars couldn't cash in. Maddie Leva, I believe, on the court for the first time tonight here in the third quarter. Here's Beeren, and she tried to get it to Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon was cutting to the bucket, and Beeren threw it behind her. Let's see here. Did they say the Cougars actually touched it last? So maybe it wasn't so much that Beeren threw it behind her. It was that the pass was knocked out. Beeren will get it off of Bobadilla, and the Falcons keep possession. 14 on the shot clock. Beeren this time gets it in to Bishop, who fumbled it a little bit, but gets it back. Gets it back out to Beeren. She leaves the three-pointer short, but Leisure gets in there for the offensive rebound. Beeren gets it to Bishop. Ota to Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon walked with the basketball as she initially was thinking about shooting it. Decided to cut toward the bucket instead, but moved her feet in the process, both of them. Here's Slover. Gets it to Tomashiro. And now Bobadilla with it again. Leva. They move it back over to the right side to Tomashiro. 7 on the shot clock. And the Falcons playing good defense. Here's Tomashiro getting toward the bucket. Leaves it short. And Beeren with the rebound and finds Ota, who finds Leisure, and Leisure couldn't cash in. The Cougars come away with it. It was a good-looking possession being set up there by the Falcons, but they were not able to convert. 2:30 to play third quarter. SPU up 17 on Cal State San Marcos. SPU trying to put one in the win column here at home. Here's Bobadilla pulling up over Bishop, and the floater is good by Kate Bobadilla. And she's got 9 points in the ball game. 15-point lead for SPU. Weatherspoon for Ota in the corner. Ota cross court for Beeren. She's got to step inside the arc, and she steps all the way to the bucket and lays it up and in. And bounces off of Okonkwo after she puts it in. Hunter Beeren with 18 points in this game. This one knocked away, and Leisure ends up with it. It wasn't Leisure that caused the turnover there. Leisure finds Bishop, and Bishop cashes in as she puts one in off the glass, and the Falcons lead it by 19. A minute 30 to play third quarter. And the Falcons just continue to cause turnovers as Weatherspoon almost had another steal there. Here's Kate Beal back in for San Marcos, and for the Cougars, or for the Falcons rather, Skylar Berry and Madison Rubino back in. This one out in the corner for Leva, and she puts it in. Maddie Leva knocks down a 3. She's a redshirt freshman out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. And they're going to give her a 2 on that. They said that her foot was on the line. So it's 50 to 33. Here's a 3 from Leisure, and that one's short. Rubino ends up with the offensive rebound, puts it back, and puts it in and draws the foul. And she will head to the free throw line. They gave Leyva a 3 on the live stats. On the scoreboard, they put up 2, so we'll see. But the Rubino gets to the line. The foul committed by Caitlin Beal. And Madison Rubino has that one pinball in and out. And so we'll see if the live stats are correct. If so, it's an 18-point game. And they have it incorrect on the scoreboard. Here's Leyva taking another 3. That one off the mark. Bobadilla tried to save it in, and she stepped on the end line. Or the sideline, rather. And was unable to save it. Still have 52-33 on the scoreboard, but Leyva was credited with a 3. No, they changed it on the live stats. The scoreboard had it right. It's they did give her just a 2. So 52-33 is correct. Falcons lead by 19. Here's Weatherspoon. Driving, putting up the floater in the lane and puts it in. And the Falcons keep expanding the lead. They lead it by 21. San Marcos going to have to go back to the drawing board here. This team was in the Final Four last year. And they returned 3 players from last year's team, which is a lot of turnover. They do have a first-year head coach as well. But they, I'm sure, are capable of playing a lot better than they have tonight. The Falcons have turned in their best effort of the season so far. Tamashiro, though, knocks down the jumper from the right side of the lane at the buzzer, and the Cougars get back to within 19 as we go to the fourth quarter. All Falcons, though, tonight, 54-35. SPU leads it after 3 quarters of play. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Broome Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Cougars have missed Camille Johnson tonight, and don't have any way of knowing how this game might be different if she was in there. But the Falcons really have come out after losing their first 5, all by double digits. And they lost an exhibition game to the University of Puget Sound by double digits as well. University of Puget Sound is in Division III. But the Falcons, though, playing a much better game tonight as they force another turnover. And here is Lola Weatherspoon, gets it to Rubino. She gets into the lane, puts it up, puts it in. Falcons are just looking like they know what they're doing out there tonight, as Rubino made that one look easy. Falcons are making good decisions. They're forcing turnovers. Here's a 3 from Leyva, and they gave her a 3 on that one. The first one, they said her foot was on the line, but it is now 56-38 SPU, and now Leyva gets a steal, and the Cougars will have possession going back the other way, and Rubino gets a hand in there and knocks it out of bounds. Substitutions, Buren in for Leisure, and the Cougars sub in 4 players here. Hetrick, Okonkwo, Slover, and for the first time tonight, Jade Ramirez, redshirt freshman out of San Jose, California. She comes in to take over the point guard duties as Bobadilla goes to the bench, as do several other Cougars. That one off the mark by Leyva, and they're going to call a foul here on Rory Hetrick, as I believe it was Skylar Berry that she fouled as they were going for the rebound. 18-point lead for SPU. Here's Skylar Berry getting to the bucket, lays it up and in with the left hand. And the Falcons have just gotten a lot of easy buckets tonight. A lot of turnovers forced by their defense. Falcons lead by 20. Here's Ramirez in the front court. Gets it to Slover. Slover kicks it to Hetrick. Over in the corner is Leyva for another 3, and this one off the mark. And Weatherspoon will come down with the rebound for SPU. To Buren. And now back to Weatherspoon, and Okonkwo gets in front of Rubino and comes up with the steal there. Falcons have committed some turnovers for sure, but they have forced more on the other end, as this is a good pass there from Slover to Okonkwo, and she lays it up and in. Okonkwo with her first 2 points of the game here in the fourth quarter. Here's Kearns. Handing off to Berry as Okonkwo collapsed onto Kearns and left Berry alone. And you could see it coming from the other end of the court up here behind the glass, as Kearns waited until Okonkwo switched on to her. Here is Hetrick, though, with a 3 on the other end. And Rory Hetrick now with 12 points in the ball game. And the Cougars back within 17. And Karen Byers wants to take a timeout and talk things over with 6:56 to play here. Falcons lead it by 17, 60-53. We'll step aside here on the SPU webcast, and we will be back in a moment here.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Falcons lead it by 17, and they have possession with 6:56 remaining in the ball game, as Lola Weatherspoon will inbound here. And not sure what the delay is here. We're back. They sound the horn again. Now we're good to go. As Buren got it to Berry. Berry's spinning around and couldn't get the shot to go. Okonkwo comes down with the rebound. The Falcons had another pretty good looking possession there. Couldn't cash it in. Here's a 3 from the corner by Leyva, and that one is off the mark, but Okonkwo will chase down the rebound. Get it back out to Leyva. Leyva leaves it short on the floater, and it's going back to the Falcons. As Cougars will send in now Maria Gorbishin freshman out of San Diego. And the Falcons take it back the other way. Falcons have a few players on their bench that we have not seen yet tonight. We'll see if this one remains a double-digit lead as Grace Leisure takes it to the bucket, puts it in, and draws the foul. That's going to go on Destiny Okonkwo. And Grace Leisure to the free throw line. Trying to complete the three-point play, but it's off the back iron. Falcons, though, with a 19-point lead as the Cougars move it into the front court. Slover with the turnaround jumper at the free throw line. Couldn't get it to go. Long rebound, tapped out, and Ota gets to it. Gets it to Buren, and Hunter Buren steps into the lane, goes up and under. Hunter Buren with 20 points in the ballgame for the Falcons. And it's a 21-point lead. Ramirez with a nice pass to Okonkwo, and she puts it in. And she'll get to the free throw line. Good find there by Jade Ramirez. As Okonkwo will get to the free throw line. Rose Morse will check back in for San Marcos, and Grace Turley for SPU. And Okonkwo trying to complete a three-point play here. And does. That one goes down and makes it an 18-point lead for SPU. Buren goes behind the back, goes over to her left. Goes behind the back again. Puts up the floater over Gorbishin, and Buren with 22 points in the ballgame. Kind of just doing whatever she wanted on that trip down the floor. Morris has it poked away, saves it before it goes into the backcourt. 5:10 to play. And Turley reaches in. It's going to be a held ball as Morse had it poked away momentarily there. And I don't know if she had it poked away or if Turley, or if she just lost it. But either way, Turley was able to get in there, and on the held ball, the possession arrow favoring the Falcons. And the Falcons with possession and a 20-point lead as we tick down to 5 minutes to play. Here's Hunter Buren. 22 points in the game for the fifth-year player. And she has looked very good tonight. Rose Morris hits the floor. And Weatherspoon's going to get called for a push-off there. Weatherspoon picks up her first foul. And this will take us to the under 5 media timeout with SPU comfortably in front of Cal State San Marcos. 66-46. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion where the Falcons lead it by 20. And the Cougars trying to get some positive momentum going, at least heading into tomorrow's matchup with Western Washington, as they'll be back here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to take on the Vikings. Morse underneath gets it out to Gorbishin in the corner, and that one no good. Morse tried to track it down. It's going to be another held ball as Turley got her hands in there as well. This time the Cougars will keep it with 4:20 to go in the ball game. Falcons shooting north of 50% in this one. 54%, and the Cougars at 39%. Falcons have forced turnovers. Really, the turnover battle, not that big of a disparity, but Ramirez has it poked away by Turley, and the Falcons just continue to get their hands on balls on the defensive end, and there is Turley at the glass, and another assist by Hunter Beeren, and the Falcons lead it by 22. Here's Gorbishin. Falcons with a big edge in fast break points. The Cougars have 0 fast break points. This one out of bounds. Slover loses it. And coming in now for the Cougars is Luka Lowenberg. The Cougars have just committed 4 more turnovers than the Falcons. Make it 5 now, 20-15 in that category. But here's Weatherspoon. She gets it blocked by Okonkwo, but Weatherspoon also gets fouled. And the foul committed by Lowenberg. Falcons have 20 assists in this game to 8 for the Cougars. And 20 fast break points to 0. 25 points off turnovers for the Falcons, 11 for the Cougars. As Falcons will inbound. Beeren has had herself a game tonight. And she's going to take another 3 from the corner, and that one is off the mark. Leisure soars in for the rebound and gets it back to Beeren, who was fouled. And I believe it was Ramirez, and it was, that got Beeren there. This will be a 2-shot foul with the Falcons in the bonus. First foul on Ramirez, as Hetrick will come back in. Beeren misses on the free throw. And this is the first trip to the line for Hunter Beeren tonight. Neither team has really shot a lot of free throws. Both in single digits. Falcons may have just gotten... that was their 9th and 10th free throw there. Hetrick back in. Beeren goes 1 of 2 at the line and has 23 points in the ballgame. Beeren has, this is Rose Morse, and that one is off the rim, chased down by the Cougars. They keep it alive. Beeren, gradually over her career, has kind of taken on more of the scoring load. This is a pass inside for Hetrick. She couldn't get that one to go. Gets it back. And believe they're going to get a foul on Weatherspoon again here. Here's Bishop, and here, for the first time tonight for the Falcons, is Grace Mertis, freshman out of Boise, Idaho. And Beeren with a steal, going behind her back a couple of times there, trying to get it out of the backcourt. She has shown that move off a few times. Here is a 3 on the way from Mertis, and she misses it just a little too strong. Had a good look at it, but unable to knock it down. She's been on the bench the whole game, so see if she gets another opportunity. Morse, and now they're going to get Mertis with the foul, as Morse was able to pull it away. So Mertis, the freshman. This is, let's see here. She's been actually in all 5 games so far for the Falcons this year. Didn't get in this one till fairly late as Hetrick misses. And the Falcons back the other way with a 23-point lead. Here is Turley. Gets it to Bishop. And Bishop gets it up over Okonkwo and puts it in. And we'll head to the free throw line. Amelia Bishop, an opportunity at a three-point play here. Okonkwo, just her second foul. But, oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong 21. Okonkwo with her fourth foul. And she will check out now as Beal, I believe that's Beal that just came in. Bishop to the free throw line and gets that one to roll in. And yes, it is Beal that came on for Okonkwo there. Falcons lead by 26 with under 2 minutes to play. Tomashiro puts that one short off the rim. Beal had the rebound. Bishop pulled it away, and it's going to be a held ball. Possession arrow favors the Falcons, and they will take it back. Falcons lead by 26. And this one thrown away by Turley, trying to get it to Buren, but Buren took a little different angle than Turley thought she was going to. Leyva will come back on, Maddie Leyva, for the Cougars, as Tomashiro will come to the bench. Leyva will inbound it to Rose Morse. Falcons have led wire to wire. The Cougars never led in this ball game. As Bishop gets a hand on that one, and they're going to get her for a foul. That'll send Beal, Caitlin Beal, to the free throw line. Here comes Julia Levine for the Falcons, and she'll get onto the floor. Levine has played in all 5 ball games, as the only player who has not played in all 5 for the Falcons is Phoenix Sharp, and she's going to get on the floor along with Peyton Bergevine, as Beal cashes in both free throws. Bergevine and Sharp come on. Bergevine wearing number 23 and Sharp number 3. Sharp is a freshman out of Las Vegas. Bergevine, a graduate student from Walla Walla, Washington, a transfer from Linfield, the Division III program in the Northwest Conference. And Sharp walked to the basketball there. Cougars will take it back with 1:17 to go. Gorbachin back on for San Marcos. Ramirez will hand it off to Lowenberg, and Lowenberg trying to get it to Leyva, and actually the Falcons poke it away. It's out of bounds off of SPU. It'll be the Cougars maintaining possession. Here's Jade Ramirez. Leyva with 6 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Beal and puts up the shot. Couldn't get it to go. Beal tried to chase down the rebound, but Julia Levine does instead. And here come the Falcons, up by 24. Turley was trying to get it to Levine, hit her foot, and this one out of bounds. Back to the Cougars. 32.3 left on the clock. But it has been all Falcons tonight. Both teams emptying their benches. We have no idea of knowing how this would have turned out differently, as they call Leyva for traveling. If the Falcons, or I'm sorry, if the Cougars had Camille Johnson on the floor, could have been a different outcome, or at least a closer game. But Falcons by 24, and Turley will dribble it into the front court and will dribble out the clock, or she'll actually get it to Sharp. Sharp's going to take a three, and that one pinballs out. Phoenix Sharp was trying to knock down a three there at the end of the game. Wasn't able to do it. But the Falcons with a 24-point win. They went on the road and lost every game by double digits their first 5 games. And come home here, and it's a completely different result as the Falcons win it 72-48 over the Cal State San Marcos Cougars. And as I mentioned, the Falcons led wire to wire. They got out to an 8-0 lead, and then it was 13-2. And the Cougars were able to come back from there and tie it up. But the Falcons able to pull away. They had a 7-point lead at halftime, and then they expanded it quickly in the third quarter and pulled away from the Cougars as they win going away by 24 points. Outscored the Cougars by 12 in the third quarter and by another 5 here in the fourth quarter. As looking at the final stats from this one, the Falcons shoot 53% from the floor. The Cougars 35% rather. Neither team did much from three-point range as the Falcons go 3 of 19 from beyond the arc, and the Cougars go 3 of 21. So both teams shooting under 20% from beyond the arc. But that did not really play a factor tonight. The Cougars, I guess it could have if San Marcos had shot the ball better from three-point range, but neither team really did much out there. Cougars 7 of 8 from the free throw line, and the Falcons 7 of 11. Falcons out rebound the Cougars 36-26, and they have 20 assists as a team. Cougars just 8. Cougars turned it over 22 times. Falcons turned it over 18 times, so it really was not a very cleanly played ball game. But Falcons with 14 steals, 26 points off turnovers, 48 points in the paint to 26 for the Cougars, and the Falcons with 20 fast break points, and the Cougars with 0 in that category. Taking a look at the final stats, the individual stats for San Marcos. Rory Hetrick turns in a 12.7 rebound performance as she goes 2 of 4 beyond the three-point arc and came up with a block and a steal. The only player in double figures for the Cougars, though, as Kate Bobadilla puts in 9 points, comes up with 3 assists and a rebound, but turned it over 4 times. Rose Morris turned it over 6 times, 5 of those in the first half. And Casey Slover turned it over 5 times as well. Slover had 6 points and 5 rebounds. And Destiny Okonkwo with 5 points and 5 rebounds as well, and had a couple of steals. The Falcons, they get a 23-point, 3 rebound, 4 assist, and 4 steal performance from Hunter Buren. She turned it over 3 times. Madison Rubino was big in the first half, had 13 points and 5 rebounds, and had a steal as well. Buren led the Falcons in steals with 4, but there were steals up and down the lineup as Skylar Berry had 2, Grace Leisure had 2, Grace Turley had 2, and Falcons get 9 points, 3 rebounds from Amelia Bishop, who really looked good off the bench, went 3 of 3 at the free throw line. 8 points for Skylar Berry, and 6 for Grace Leisure. She had 5 rebounds as well, and they just give her 1 blocked shot, but it seemed like she got her hands on some other balls, and she had 2 steals as well, and Leisure had 2 assists. So a good win for the Falcons in their home opener as they really turned things around from how they had been going. They had gotten off to an 0-5 start, but they are now 1-0 on their home floor. Falcons will have Azusa Pacific tomorrow, and Azusa Pacific looked really good against Western Washington earlier tonight. Azusa Pacific picked to win the Pac West. The Vikings picked, Western Washington picked to win the GNAC. Cal State San Marcos will take on Western Washington at 4 o'clock, and then the 6 o'clock game, or it may not start quite on time, will be SPU taking on Azusa Pacific. Azusa Pacific now 3-0 on the season. Falcons go to 1-5, and the Cougars drop to 0-3 after making a Final Four run last year. Falcons win it 72-48. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast, and we will have more action for you tomorrow. As I mentioned, Western Washington, Cal State San Marcos at 4 o'clock, and then the nightcap will be SPU taking on Azusa Pacific. We will talk to you tomorrow from Royal Borough Pavilion. Have a good night.